execution complete. All the responsibilities in terms of execution, in terms of hiring, in terms of procurement will be from our side. We're going to help the investors, of course. Creating marketing of the property. We do have a strong database with Tivoli. Existing clientele base, we have a strong database. We're going to support with our existing, leads management. We do have a strong lead management system. We do have complete database with us. On daily basis, we are getting 100 of the calls. So we're going to help, of course, in terms of generating more leads as per the requirement, as per the client requirement, as per their specification, and as per their budget. Of course, we're going to help in terms of generating more and more revenue. These are the investors' responsibilities. Construction, master plan, and the designing, owner of the complete FIHL project, ensure flow of fund of the project requirement during the construction stage, of course. Maintain the transparency with the brand audit team at the various stage. Hire staff to run the property's construction with the brand. Ensure day-to-day operation runs smoothly. And local marketing. Because in local marketing, the investors would be for sure they'll be aware about the local market and they know well what the local market is. So I'll hand it over to Mr. Ishan Gupta for the capex. He will explain the next slide.
Hi, thank you, Heather. So, guys, the capex would actually depend on what sort of project we guys are doing. I think, like Heather explained, the 8-9 different properties that we have, they're divided into 2-3 different models. Excuse me. The first model is a budget-friendly banquet. The example would be Tivoli Royal Court, which is located in Okhla. And that would be the cheapest model for us to build and operate as well. So Tivoli Royal Court, when we started in 2019, we made 2 banquet halls, and the capex incurred for the same would be around 4 crores. And the first model A, which Heather mentioned also, is emulated on Tivoli Royal Court as well. The second type of product that we have is Tivoli Bhijwasan, where also again we would require minimum 2 banquet halls to be made, and the capex could start from 4 crores. Ideally, it could go up to 6-7 crores. This would really depend on what we are making, what the location is. So there are 2-3 criterias that would help us decide how much money is going to get invested in this. The third final model will be something like what we've done in Palwal or Rewari, where we have a decent room inventory and we're targeting destination weddings, residential events. I think everyone is very well aware that in the last 4-5 years, post-COVID, the wedding landmark has changed altogether. People are preferring to do all their events in the hotel itself. They're taking the entire room inventory and they're doing multiple functions there. That is what we've seen in Palwal and Rewari as well. So this model, the capex will start at around 10 crores. If I look at the Rewari model, the cost incurred to make that project was to the tune of 9 to 10 crores, but the landlord had already given us some facilities. So if you see this sheet that we've shared, the sheet that we've shared, we're requiring 2 banquets, 30 rooms, and a minimum. Okay, the plot area is not mentioned. No worries. Yeah, just give me 1 second.
Sorry. 3 acres or something?
Sorry, just repeat that.
3 acres, right?
Yes, correct. So what we've done in this is we've basically taken out all the elements that would be required to operate, say, a 3-acre project. We've said we need around 30 rooms. We've taken the civil cost, the services part, which include the electrical, plumbing, HVAC part, the interiors part we've taken the crockery, lighting, the kitchen. We've taken an element of licensing in it as well. And net, we've come to around 10 crores. So this is a basic capex that we've calculated. This can be up and down based on what designs we do, at what stage we're getting the project. If it's a barren piece of land, it could go up. If there's something built up, it could change. But if you see the cost heads that we made, they're in tune with the what it would cost to make a regular building.
Great. I think yeah, that's really helpful, Ishanji. Shall I
Sorry,
move
Mr.
on?
Yes, yes, please, please.
So I think that is what we have from a presentation perspective. And I would request if there are any questions. I have a couple of questions, if I may
Please.
go ahead and ask. So first of all, I think the first thing that comes to our mind is you are primarily based in Delhi NCR area. So what other geographies are we looking at for expansion right now?
So Delhi NCR itself has a huge opportunity. There is a shortage of banquets with or without rooms within Delhi NCR. If you look at where we are present right now, Rewari, Palwal, Meerut, we're seeing great growth over there. Immediately, if I would have to answer that, a driving distance of 5 hours within Delhi would be something that we would be very interested in,
Sure.
but not limited to that. So, the state of Punjab, state of Rajasthan, UP, huge markets. Tier 1
Right.
cities like Lucknow, Jaipur, excellent markets for us to go and target.
And would you also be open for locations which you already have presence, like for example, Meerut? Would you be open for another one at Meerut?
Yes, absolutely. Why not? Like I said, all these properties are financially doing very well. We have a very healthy bottom line. The good part is that we guys become cash flow in the first year of operation itself. So when we're building a project, right, we only take into consideration the capex part. We don't take into consideration OPEX because weddings, they start getting booked 4 to 5 months in advance. So all our projects, historically, all the 9 properties that we're operating, we've never required an OPEX fund. So we become cash flow positive in the first year itself. The ROI starts from the first year itself. And typically, 30 to 40 months is what we estimate the investor to get his capital back.
Right. Got it. And what would a typical property look like if somebody has a property in agriculture land? So what are the key characteristics of a property one should have to be found fit for a banqueting kind of a project?
So first and foremost is the legality of it. We'll need to understand where it's located, which city, what is the governing authority over that, whether it's legal to run a banquet or a hotel. First and foremost is that. Second, the accessibility from the main city. Typically, banquets, if you see 10 years back, Chhatarpur was the main banqueting belt in Delhi, and it was considered outskirts of the city. So in all tier 2, tier 3 cities also, banquets are coming up on the outskirts of the city. So we'll see the accessibility from the main residential areas, parking, traffic, the legality part, like I told you, shape of the plot. These things will determine a lot. And this will change. So any tier 2 city, there would be enough demand for us to go on the outskirts as well as within the city as well. Something like a tier 3, maybe outskirts is the only option. We'll need, typically, we would want a larger piece of land that would be available only in the outskirts, I believe.
Right. And what is an estimated timeline that you feel if it is a greenfield project, open land, how much time do you think that it will take to build a property, let's say for a 3-acre kind of a plot?
So I'll answer this question for both. Let's assume that all legalities are in place, all approvals are in place, and the investor has all the funds ready with him. There is no issue in deploying funds. The banquet model, where we're not building rooms, we could execute anywhere from 4 to 5 months. That is what we have taken to build our property like Bhijwasan or Royal Court Okhla or the Upper House. 4 to 5 months is the typical time. If it's room based, if it's greenfield, it could be anywhere from 12 to 18 months. Again, depending on the scale of the project, how many rooms we're building.
And also, Ishanji, are you also open for leasing a property besides a franchising model? I mean,
Yes. So if there's a piece of land which we feel to give it on a lease basis, we could figure that out.
Okay, so that would mean that you would take over that land and invest either by yourself or find an investor to invest in that property.
Right. So let's go by preference. The first preference is the landlord brings the land and invests in it, and we bring management capabilities where we're taking a management fees. The second is there's a land parcel, the landlord is investing in it, and they are saying that, okay, you guys run it, let the cash flows be with you guys, give us some sort of revenue, right?
Yeah.
That's the second part. The third part is that landlord says, here's a piece of land, you guys invest, you guys run it. I just want a monthly retainer. So that's preference number 3. We could look at all 3.
Got it. And out of all your properties which are running currently, is there any property which is in a franchising or a management contract model, or they are all your own, right?
As of now, the 9 properties mentioned in the slide are our own. We own the lease and the cash flows. We have just signed a management contract in Jim Corbett. It's a 5-acre plot. We're building 70 villas, beautiful wedding banqueting facilities, a very large pool, restaurant, club facilities. So that's the management model that we've done.
Got it. Right. There's one question from one of the participants. Are we open for a master franchise? So I'm not sure
Not
how
at
a
the moment.
franchise model would work in Tivoli.
Not at the moment. We're not giving any master franchisee out.
Tarun, you would like to ask anything? You have any questions?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. So I have got a couple of my clients who has been based out in the city like Moradabad. So are we open for those areas as well? They have got their own developed property
100%.
across.
Moradabad is a good market, robust market. We can do very well over there.
Correct. So he has gotten a property of approximately 10,000 square feet. So is this sufficient?
So just repeat that question.
10,000 square feet.
So 10,000 square feet would mean around 1,000 square yards. This would depend on where the location is. 1,000 square yards, we would need the property to be within the city limits, because
It's within the city. It's main on the Cart Road, the prominent location altogether.
Yeah, so we could definitely consider making 2 banquet halls over there. It can suffice. Yes.
Great.
Right. I think a couple of questions flowing in from the participants. One is on the manpower required. So maybe something on the operational expenses.
Right.
How much manpower is required? What are the operational expenses, and what happens in the off season?
Yeah, good question. So we guys keep a lean core team, because there is a seasonality involved in the nature of the business. We keep a lean core team, and then when from October to Feb, when there is a heavy wedding season going on, when we have back-to-back functions, we guys get casual staff to deliver these events for us. So that way, during off season, there's no challenge in paying the fixed expenses. There are no issues. There's no attrition. We don't have to ask anyone to leave. We have a committed, strong core team, and so we already have calculated all those things. I mean, when we sit down face to face with some gentlemen, we can figure all those things out. But we have all that. We have our standards set.
Right. Sure. And Mr. Bakshi has asked, what is the status of Tivoli Chhatarpur? Probably he's been to that place and it's not operational for some time, so he's curious.
Tivoli Chhatarpur is opening in October with 135 rooms, as Heather mentioned in the presentation. He missed out some key details. We are building the largest covered banquet hall in Delhi. And the plot size is 10 acres with additional 2.5 acres of parking that we have. All 135 rooms will be operational in October. In fact, November, December, we're almost all the wedding dates are already sold out. And a lot of interest is coming. So very, very exciting times for us. Excited for this to happen now.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you would be open for 5 hours drive from Delhi NCR. There's a question, somebody's asking, Mr. Surana, are we open for East India, eastern part of India, maybe Kolkata, West Bengal,
Look,
those kind of
so let's understand Tivoli as a brand, right? In North India, we're very strong. So there's a huge recall value in cities like Jaipur, Alwar, Chandigarh, Ludhiana, Amritsar, Lucknow. There's a huge recall value. If I open a property right now, so it will automatically become the talk of the town in the city, and I'll be able to give a lot of value. I don't know if Calcutta, if we can, in this stage, if we can add a lot of value from a marketing perspective. So I myself would not want to look at Calcutta. I would right now want to conquer North India and then go from there. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about adding properties, right? We want to give, we want to build investor wealth. We want to give them value, and we can do that where we are very strong.
Correct. Sure. Another investor, I think, is interested to understand if you are open for managing an existing property. I think he's got a property.
Yeah. Rohtak again. Rohtak is a robust market. It already has a couple of products. We could definitely look at this.
Sure. Mr. Kunal, probably we can get in touch with you and discuss this further.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity. If they have already something built up, we could come on board and add some changes that could be required to get it up to standard with what the latest market trends are. And we do get a lot of queries from Rohtak. None have materialized so far, but Rohtak is a good robust market. Tivoli can do well there.
Right. I think another one is, are we open for a FOCO model where you operate and how is the minimum guarantee or revenue share can be worked out?
Yes, we are absolutely open to a FOCO model. As I mentioned, that is out of the three priorities that I mentioned, that's number two. We would have to look at the land parcel. We would have to look at the opportunity that's available, and the MG would depend on the investment that's coming in. What investment would be required. So we could look at an MG there, most definitely.
Sure.
I think one part which was missed out in the presentation was that the landscape of the wedding market has changed a lot. Even five-star hotels now have realized that, post-COVID, the real revenue generator is coming from social events, from weddings, from birthdays and get-togethers. And so now they've opened up to the whole concept of marriages. Earlier, 5 years or 10 years ago, you would hear these stories that brands like Leela or Oberoi don't entertain wedding events at all. That's changed. Where we add a lot of value is that we as a company, we as a brand will give a lot of flexibility to our guests. So if you're hosting a marriage in a five-star hotel, there are a lot of limitations on what menu you would choose, what are the timings of the event. 12 o'clock music will stop, liquor service will stop at 10:30, snack service will stop at 11 o'clock. Those challenges don't exist with us. So as Heather mentioned, in 95, when my father started the company, the reason why we did well was because we filled this gap. His sister got married in Taj, and he himself got married in a DDA park, and he realized that there has to be something better, right? And that's where Tivoli was born. And the reason why we've succeeded so far, and people keep coming back to us, is all the flexibilities we offer for them to execute their event. Now, when I got married, for example, my in-laws were very keen to do it at Taj, and we requested them, please let us do it on our own, because we want the music to go on till late. We want the liquor to be served late. We don't want these strict do's and don'ts. So a lot of guests today, they understand this. And even the elite segment in Delhi, they're getting their events covered by these individual venue providers. So Upper House, for example, is our latest product that we've launched in Sultanpur. We're catering to that segment. We're commanding a great premium, and these people are coming to us because of all these flexibilities that we're offering them.
Right. Sure. I think another follow-up question from Mr. Arif is about the customer payment. Feels that the payment cycle is a challenge in this industry. So is that really true?
Not at all. In fact, we have no credit system at all. The good thing is that like I said, we book weddings 3 to 4 months in advance, and we take a healthy deposit. and that money is used for our operational expenses during the off season. And almost 100% of the payment is collected about a couple of days before the event. So no challenge whatsoever. If this gentleman has heard this, it's probably maybe not being able to manage, or I don't know. For us, we take 100% payment from the guest at least a couple of days in advance. There's no policy of credit.
I think another question from Kiran Agarwal is on the ROI. It says that for somebody to achieve an ROI in 3 to 4 years, turnover of around 20 CR per year would be required from year one. So is that a fair assumption?
Well, let me just read the question, please.
Yeah, sure.
So what they're asking is the investment will be 4 crores above the land part. So, in our calculations in ROI, we have not considered land as a cost. It's a good question. We've not taken into account the investment to procure the land. When we say 3 to 4 years is the ROI, the return on capital, that is for the amount of money that's being spent to develop the land parcel and not procuring the land parcel on its own. We're assuming that the land parcel belongs to the landlord and that has come in encumbered.
Some kind of a rental for that land parcel, right? In your running expenses.
Right. So we could take that into consideration for sure. I'm saying that so far, the 9 properties that we're running, these are all on lease model. At the moment, we've taken these properties on lease. We're paying a monthly rental, and our return, the capital deployed for the capex part, our return has been in the range of 3 to 4 years. 4 being high on the higher side. Some models have been 2 years as well. I think am I audible, Mr. Devan?
Yes, you are.
There's a question where Gunjan has said for a 4 crore capex also you would require 20 crore. Our GOP, if the land belongs to the landlord, our GOP would be in the range of 40 to 45% of the turnover. If it's a leased model, the GOP is going to be 20 to 25%. So we need a yearly turnover of around 10 to 11 crores to get the ROI back in about 2 years or so.
Right. Okay. Sure. And at this stage, can we specify for a FOCO model? Is there a MG percentage that we can specify? That will depend upon what kind of property, what kind of project.
I don't want to mention any fixed MG at the moment. It would really depend on what the parcel is. We could look at something. I mean, I don't know if this is the right platform to say that number out.
Yeah, I agree. I think every property has a different nature,
right.
Different
right.
prospect. Yeah, so it'll all depend on that.
Correct.
Great. So I think we have answered almost all the questions. Is there anything else? Tarun, Neha, maybe we'll take this up.
Yes, I do have a question I would want to ask. One thing, since we are doing only social event, please correct me if I'm wrong. Are we also doing corporate events as well? Because I think when we are doing corporate, we need a different sort of team, a team with different skills. And when we do social, the skill we required are different. So are we doing both type of events or we are only into social?
No, definitely we are catering to corporate events as well. We have a good, strong hold in the Delhi market. So we have a corporate sales team which goes out in the market. They're building these leads, and we are giving this business to all our 6-7 properties which are in the vicinity of say about 50 to 100 kilometers within Delhi. Our property in Palwal, for example, there's a separate team which sells that particular property because business from Delhi will not go to Palwal.
Right.
Rewadi, however, because it's on the Delhi-Jaipur highway, we are sending business from Delhi, Gurgaon to that property. So we cater there. Meerut, for example, we can't send corporate business from Delhi. So Meerut has its own individual sales team which goes out in the market.
So we do have two segment of employees, one who's leading the corporate events and one who's leading the social events.
Right,
Okay.
right.
All right. One more question I do have is whether we do have our vendors for decor and fooding. I mean, we do have our set vendors who are on panel, or we do allow vendors from outside who can work on the on our property.
So for the decoration part and the events part, we have our own panel. However, to give flexibility to the client, we don't limit it to just our panel. To maintain transparency and to maintain peace of mind for the guest, we tell them that, you know, if you can get someone from outside who's doing a better job, we'll allow you. However, our vendors would give you the best deal possible. We always maintain that statement.
And same with food.
So food is in-house. We do our own catering. That's our core product, and that's how we are able to maintain uh, uh, a good, healthy bottom line. Because if we allow guests to bring their own catering, then it will become unaffordable for the client.
Understood. Yeah. All right. I think fair enough. I got my answers. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.
Praveen, anything else you have?
No, I think that should be all.
All right.
That should be all. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, Ishanji, Heatherji, any last message you want to convey to the people who are watching you live before we take it off?
No, nothing. Just I think you guys covered most of the things. Just excited. You know, we're happy that finally this is happening after a lot of hard work and good expansion. So we're just happy that we're on this platform now and excited with full energy.
Sure, certainly. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for coming in on this webinar today, and thank you for sharing so much inputs and details about your brand to all our participants who watched you live on this webinar. And I wish you all the good luck for your brand. Though it's a very famous brand and out there everybody knows what Tivoli is. But in franchising, I think you're coming for the first time. And we've got so many questions which shows the kind of interest we are getting. And yeah, sure, very good luck.
Lovely.
So thank you all the panelists. Guys, as you know that we are
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you. We are coming up with our biggest show. This is our 20th edition, and this is our biggest franchisee show, which is happening in Yashobhumi tomorrow and the after tomorrow. So please join us there. Please visit us to explore more than 300 brands under one roof and to become a franchisee partner. Please join us. To know more details, you can reach out, or you can directly reach out to our hotline number. The details I have already shared into the chat window. I hope you all will have a wonderful day and also